At the very least, we can stall for time. Okay, welcome once again to Circulus, a homebrew D&D 5th edition campaign. I am your DM, Crash, also known as Aaron, and with me today are not so much a party of adventurers, not so much a group of friends. I really like to think that they are a family. And so with us is the mother of the family, who patches our boo-boos and kisses them to make them better, Eric. Eric, who are you playing?
Hello, everybody. I'm Obaim Metalcaster. I'm playing a Dwarf Cleric.
And of course, this family has a father. This is not a broken home. The father and conscience of the party, which surprises some of us, is Chris. Chris, who are you playing?
I'm playing Vex'Sarin. He is a half-elf ranger, and believe me, it surprises me as well.
Okay, and we also have with us that bookish older sibling who is the first person that gets contacted for tech support anytime they visit home. Hey, how you doing? You bring any dirty laundry, just throw them in the washing machine. That's fine. Help yourself to anything in the fridge. By the way, my computer says that I've downloaded a virus, so I needed to install some software to get rid of the virus according to the pop-up. And I did that, but it seems to have added more pop-ups. Could you help me out? Well, that would be Matt. Matt, who are you playing?
I am playing Aristobulous Ravenscroft, human wizard.
And of course, there's always that crazy uncle that shows up at family reunions and everyone wonders why he was invited, and no one admits that they gave him the date or location for the reunion. That would be Tom. Tom, who are you playing?
I'm playing Panqarim, a Gnome Barbarian.
And last but not least will be Logan, who will be joining us shortly. Logan is spending time with his other family. There's always one person that lives a double life, I guess. But he plays Fenix, a Dragonborn Paladin. So we are going to start this game off with a flashback. Okay, so, well, the last session was going on. Obaim and Fenix went off to do their own thing. Fenix was more in solitary meditation, gaining guidance from his deity to basically figure out all these new abilities that he had, having leveled up to level 2 and level 3. Obaim did what he did last time, where he went to the local dwarven church to hang out. Only this time, it wasn't as quiet and peaceful an event. Obaim, as you arrive, you notice that the church is much more crowded than usual, and it seems that most of the people in there are not dwarves. They are humans. A smattering of other races, but mostly human at this point. And some of them look rather disheveled. Some of them are carrying what looks to be all of their worldly possessions on them. As the day goes on, it turns out that many of these people, if not all of them, are actually evacuees from Coomridge Valley, the various farmhouses and whatnot in the area, particularly anything on the outskirts. Some of them are there just with sniffles and colds and stuff, and they're given like an herbal tea and they're sent on their way. Some of them have more grievous injuries for one reason or another. And the dwarven clerics there are doing their best to patch people up and take care of them. There is a standing order that anyone with any kind of injury is supposed to have someone at one of the churches examine it, because of the whole, you know what, if something goes south and you die from it, you come back as a zombie and kill everyone around you thing. So seeing a doctor is not just a suggestion, it's often considered mandatory. As the day goes on, and Eric is currently unable to talk because he has a lot of background noise, so I'll let him decide how he reacts to this. But how the other dwarven clerics are reacting to this is, at first, they use up a lot of their healing spells right away. They decide to do this in shifts, so the first dwarves to use up their healing abilities take a long rest. But when they come back from their long rest, they don't gain any new healing spells. This, of course, leads to some concern amongst the clerics. The dwarven god in this particular area is referred to as Terra the Rock Shaper. She's worshipped by most of the Coomridge dwarves, whether they are in Coomridge Keep, which is where the party is now, or in the dwarven town of Orestrike, which is in the northeast corner of Coomridge. Of the deities that are worshipped in Coomridge, she is the one with the least number of worshippers, because the dwarven community is understandably a bit smaller than the human community. But she was still powerful enough for them to have spells at their disposal. I do see Eric is typing in chat. To avoid the background nerves, using medicine knowledge, I should be able to help using local herbs. Am I? Yes, and those dwarves are grateful for anything you are able to give, and if you choose to use your spells, they work. You are not a follower of Terra the Rock Shaper. Based on your origin, Terra the Rock Shaper doesn't exist where you are from, so you wouldn't have been worshipping her anyway. We actually had some discussion last week about this, because none of us could remember who your dwarf deity actually is. Who does Obaim worship? Where does he get his spells from?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Love it.
Yeah, I looked through your character sheet and I didn't see it. So it worries me that you're looking it up.
It also worries me that the ranger knows who their deity is and the cleric doesn't.
That would cause some long-term problems, I think. May I suggest, Chris, that you multi-class? Because...
Go a little bit cleric here. Because we're screwed otherwise.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you know where your spells are coming from. Is that a wild Logan that has appeared?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Ilmater. I have no idea who that is. I fail as a DM.
No, I don't know who that is either.
It's a Forgotten Realms deity who primarily is interested in... he's a bit of a martyr, and he's known as the Broken God or the Maimed God. Generally is considered a good deity who he does focus on healing in life.
This is why I referred to Matt as the bookish member of the family who you went to for tech support. That right there is why I used that description.
Yep.
Okay.
I've played clerics of Ilmater or Ilmater.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Pronunciation before.
Ilmater, god of endurance.
Yeah.
Symbol is hands bound at the wrist with red cord.
Wonderful. Well, if Obaim uses any of his spell slots for healing, they work. He doesn't have any problem with it whatsoever. The main problem is those clerics that are getting their spells from Terra the Rock Shaper are not getting their spells back.
That's not good.
No, it's not. Words to that effect are said by most of the dwarves in the church, actually, but they're said when the refugees are not within earshot. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, don't cause mass hysteria.
Yes, we don't want people to think dogs and cats are living together. So basically, they switch gears from using spells for broken bones and stuff to putting in a sling, saying "walk it off," and adopting the idea of, a dwarf would laugh at an injury like this. You'll be okay. Suck it up. Yes, I know.
Doing it the
you stop
old-fashioned
crying.
way.
Obaim, do you use any of your spells to help people? It's a steady line coming in. And from what you hear, all three churches in Coomridge Keep are getting the same amount of traffic. Guards are sort of directing the flow of traffic so that they're all three getting the same amount of people attending. Okay, so Kyorun's Cure Wounds, Healing Word, and Lesser Restoration are all in full effect. You use them all. Matter of fact, I'll even go so far to say is you take a long rest during the day to get your spells back, and you get your spells back. So you're not having any problems whatsoever. And at the end of the day, because of you being able to help in ways that the other clerics were not able to help, as a token of their gratitude, they gift you a Ring of Protection +1. So you can go ahead and add that to your character sheet. You get the sense that they don't have a lot of magic items to pass around, but as troubled as they are very grateful that someone is showing that there's still a higher power looking down on them. And you might have made some converts today, actually. Like, oh, so tell us about your deity. They actually grant spells. Tell me more. This is interesting. So, Ring of Protection +1, that is +1 to your AC and to any saving throws that you make. Now, for most of the day, as this is a flashback to last session, most characters are doing the things that they were already doing, which was you started off the day getting, basically, you had a wonderful conversation with Lord Idris about the ramifications of your actions by allowing a certain really, really powerful goblin shaman to escape with a boatload of children, but it's not the boatload of children that are running around killing guards and families as a point of revenge. So he's not in a good mood, and he said to pretty much not go out and seek out this shaman. He would deal with it. He would take care with it because you've made enough of a mess as it is. The party that attended this wonderful meeting decided it might be a good idea to do a non-murder hobo type quest, which was the last remaining one that you'd gotten from Geckard before everything hit the fan, of going north to find Marwood Lake Forest. The quest is pretty much one of those things where you go and check on that old guy to see how he's doing. In RPGs, it's often referred to as a breadcrumb quest, where, hey, we want you to go to this location. Here's a quest to go to that location. You made your preparations, decided we're gonna go in the morning because it's too long a trip to take at night, even though the terrain is not going to be that bad because of the stupid ranger making all the terrain easy.
You're welcome.
And then the eyeball thing happens.
Yeah.
Now, the eyeball thing happens before Obaim comes back to the inn. He's still at the church, helping as many people as possible at this point. We're going to start the actual non-flashback portion of the game up right after Vex and yes, thank you. I have your names written down in front of me, and I still blanked because I looked at the information for Punk, and my eyes focused on where it says Tom, and I'm like, no, I'm not calling Punk Tom. That's the player, not the character. Tom
there is no Tom, only Punk.
Yes, exactly. And Tom would not be holding a half-full mug of basically eye viscera and snow. But Punk would be. So
it's Italian water ice.
I hate that you said that only because you thought of it before I could. So, how dare you make a pun better than what I could think of? So yeah, that's just happened. Fenix is in the inn, but he's been locked in his room the entire day.
Playing Dragonborn games.
Yeah, pretty much. what and Ari is he had some eyeball issues at the keep itself as well, but he cast a light cantrip and they flew away, and he was like, okay, well, forget that, I'm going back to bed. I can't.
Too late
watch
to deal
eyeballs.
with that garbage.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, you know what, I am not eating any more chimichangas that late before supper, but after supper again, I'm just going to bed.
And I did take that vial of eyeball residue, so he didn't drink it, right?
That's, I believe, how we ended the session. So at this point, you've got a not vial, you have a mug that's half full of eyeball
Still vile.
viscera. Vile. Yeah,
Still
it is
pretty
vile.
vile, yeah.
You still don't... I believe the joke that I made last week was classically trained artists don't put their coffee cup next to their paint water cup. For very similar reasons to why you might want to label that. And at this moment, you sort of slap your forehead and realize, you know what, the Dragonborn is still here.
That's true.
Paladin, maybe able to help. Let's go wake him up.
So, in that case, Fenix, you hear a...
I need more sleep.
Candygram for Fenix.
Oh my god, open the door.
Okay.
Candygram for Mongo.
I'll open the door.
Land shark. So.
Don't shoot him. You'll just make him mad.
Can I see his window?
You most certainly can see his window.
Are there eyeballs?
Only inside skulls.
Okay.
Those skulls also have a nice layer of flesh going around them, because otherwise that'd be really creepy. They are also attached to the heads of your party members.
Okay. We need to talk. Creepy eyeballs staring at us through the windows. I slowly just walk past. I want to check his windowsill.
Okay.
Is there any gook?
Yes.
They're watching you too.
Give me a perception check.
I lost my perception. Where's my perception? Supply.
I'm a little concerned that you lost your perception.
I scrolled too far down on my cartridge. For 18.
Okay, so as you're looking at the windowsill, you sort of stick your head out, and you can see that pretty much all the windows on the second floor on this side of the inn are of similar design, because why wouldn't they be?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's a similar situation on every windowsill. It's not that any one of your party was singled out.
Right, so they're watching everyone. Do you know anything about this gook? So I kind of just hand it to Fenix and say, do you know anything about this gook?
Do I like roll for that?
Yes, in this case, I would roll an Arcana check.
Oh god. 19.
You don't know everything about it, but you are fairly certain that whatever is in there is necromantic in origins. You definitely wouldn't drink this. You're fairly certain that Pudge, the innkeeper, does not keep a keg of this behind the bar.
Right, well this is probably going to lead us down the path to get more information on the zombies with no eyes.
We need to talk to Ari or Obaim and see if they can take a look at this as well.
Yeah. May I suggest we all stay alert tonight?
Yeah.
Just sleep with your weapons close.
I get fire breath. I'm good.
Remember, you are in an inn that is mostly made of wood.
Hey, if it needs to come to this, it will come to this.
Some men just want to see the world burn.
I just kind of facepalm. We're all gonna die, and just walk back to my room.
So it's gonna feel Dragonborn.
You spent the day praying to a lawful good deity that would probably look down upon any of his followers who burned an inn to the ground filled with innocent people. So I'm not even going to require you to make a religion check. You know fire bad. Okay, so you all call it a night, but sleep with your weapons close and one eye on the door.
I sleep with my armor on and everything.
Well, you use leather armor, so you are still using leather armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because chainmail was offered previously to anyone who wanted it, so if for some reason your character is not wearing chain and you would rather be wearing chainmail, you can retcon your character to have a chain shirt.
I would actually lose it.
Well, you would, because you're a stupid ranger, and I'm surprised you're not dual-wielding scimitars with a panther companion.
No, I'm a ranger. The whole point of it is range.
I know. Of course, let's face it, Drizzt with scimitars is a ranged attack. He is the ranged attack.
As well as the bow when he has it.
This is true. A bow that shoots lightning bolts. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so... Let's do some rolls on my end.
I hate it when the DM does roll.
The beauty of it is, I could do rolls for no other reason than I wonder what the result of this die roll would be. Oh, okay.
Oh no, I've done that as well. It's terrifying to the players.
However, in this case, that's not what I'm doing. Fenix, I would like you to make a perception check.
Yeah. 18.
Okay, wonderful. You realize that you are not alone in your room.
Someone died.
You open one eye, and you see two silhouettes in the moonlight that is leaking in through your window. And it appears that they either had a key or picked the lock, because you didn't really hear them come in, but you did hear one of them close the door. It made an audible click sound. They're trying to be sneaky, but, you know, the door made noise. And they definitely appear to be armed.
Can I, get out of bed and ready my weapon?
I'm assuming, based on what instructions were given, that your weapon is already ready already.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of you not being in a prone position anymore.
I'll just get it and see who they are.
Okay, roll for initiative.
Oh god.
Well, it might not be too bad, because I just rolled for the intruders in your room. And who what?
It's a 15.
Oh, you're fine. And I would like to remind you of something. So basically, your animal companion wasn't going outside with you because it would not be effective if you made it so that it wouldn't die from exposure. So you've basically been having it hang out in your room that you're in right now.
Can I, make it communicate with our bird somehow to, make it distract them?
You can do better than that. You can order to attack.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'll do that.
And that's a free action. So you can go ahead and attack as well if you wish.
I want to like attack the one to the left, and I'll attack the one to the right.
Okay. And you won initiative, so you jump out of bed with your longsword at the ready and roll to attack.
17.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
9 damage.
This intruder goes down. Now, roll the attack for... It's an eagle, right?
Yeah.
Roll attack for your eagle.
Is it just damage, or does it have any modifiers or anything?
1 second, I'm looking it up. Because I think your eagle might have more than one attack. But it depends on the version. It looks like it gets one attack. It can attack with its talons and do 1 slashing damage. You know what? I'm going to say that that's a finesse thing, just because. So give me a roll and add +3.
Okay. Oh my god.
What?
I rolled a 1.
So Justice has been bored out of its skull these past few days because it can't even go out flying, and it eagerly enjoys the idea of finally getting a chance to do something other than sit there and eat. So it hops off its perch and soars towards this other intruder, who ducks. And it flies right past him. And in these close quarters, you're now pretty sure they're both males. And lands on your bed, skids, and gets tangled up in the covers. However, this was relatively distracting to this intruder who didn't even realize that you had a pet bird.
Okay. Then I'm gonna attack the one there.
Oh,
Oh no, it's their turn.
It's their turn, yes. What's your AC?
My AC is 16.
He pulls out a dagger with an edge that is sort of wavy. It's not a straight edge at all, and tries to slash at you, but you are able to dodge out of the way.
Yay.
So now it is back to your turn.
I want to attack him again. I'll attack this one first.
Oh, and at this point, everyone else on this floor has heard Justice make a sound that they have not heard Justice making before, which was a very loud screech of a battle cry. So everyone on this floor that doesn't sleep like a rock is awake.
Alright. Yeah, I rolled a 17.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
That was the worst hit I've ever done. 6.
That is definitely enough to very, very, very annoy. That's the wrong grammar, but oh well. This particular individual is not happy with what you've done, but he's not falling over. And he just crit.
Yeah.
So pretty much you impaled him with your long sword, doing over half his total hit points and damage. And he sort of slides forward on your sword to get closer to you. And then stabs at you. For 4 points of damage.
Can I start heading to his room with Shepard?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like
Roll
to
for
run
initiative
over.
so you can work. I can work you into the mix.
Should I roll too?
If you're not just
22.
going to go back to bed, yes.
No, I'm coming over there. That's why I said.
22 for me.
Conqueror, there was a fight.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's going to be angry he missed it.
I'm going to treat you and Shepard as acting on the same initiative.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
And what was Ponk's?
22.
So you're both 22.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're the same age. Cool. I remember when I was 22. That was... Oh, now I made myself sad.
I'm 27.
I remember when I was 27. That was... Oh, now I made myself sad. So basically, at this point, I'm going to say the inn is small enough that you two, because you were sleeping with one eye open, so to speak, you're able to burst out of your rooms and run over to Fenix's room, and whoever gets there first, doesn't matter who, you're able to burst the door open and storm in. But that takes a double move, so you're there seeing someone dead on the ground, someone impaled by Fenix's longsword, and they're stabbing Fenix in a designated good guy area, basically his left shoulder. But that dagger went all the way through the left shoulder.
Vex probably got there first, so that's fine.
So if I got there first and kicked in the door, can Shepard
You've
attack?
got the same initiative, so I'm going to say you got there simultaneously.
Okay. After you, sir.
You stop at the door and just sort of like wave him on through. You hold the door open for Vex.
Again, I don't like running into situations I can't see what's going on, so he can help himself first.
So if we came running in and we both burst down the door, can Shepard attack?
Were you carrying Shepard?
Sure.
So
Second boy.
there's this idea
Go
that
get him, Ray.
rules lawyers came up with
Exactly.
a long time ago, called the peasant canon. Are you
No.
familiar with it?
I think I've heard of it.
So basically, as a free action, you can hand someone something if they're within 5 feet of you.
I am.
So what you do is you get a bunch of peasants in a row, like maybe 100 of them, and you hand an item to a peasant on one end of this row, and they hand it to the next peasant, and they hand it to the next peasant. Each of these is a free action happening the same during the same round. So at the end of this line of peasants, this item has achieved a velocity higher than the speed of sound, considering the distance it has traveled within 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, you have a peasant cannon, which is pretty much a railgun. And this is why DMs don't allow rules lawyers on many occasions. But in this case, yeah, you burst through the door, you're holding Shepard, and you can pretty much toss him at this last guy that's standing and go, "Sick 'em, boy," or whatever you say. Insert catchphrase here.
That's an 18 to hit.
That is definitely a hit.
So that's 2d4. 3 plus 5 plus 4. So 9 points of piercing damage from Shepard.
Rips his head off.
So basically, you toss Shepard at this remaining person that is attacking your friend, and he sort of hits at the neck level, sinks his teeth in. The momentum of your throw has him circle around the neck of this individual. Fenix, you do get a face full of wolf puppy butt. The tail tickles your nose a bit. It's sort of like getting hit in the face with a feather duster. And in the process, it rips this guy's throat right out. Then it lands on the floor, covered in blood and gore, and smiling happily at you with an expression that says, "Did I do good?"
Good boy. I'd like to point out, Shepard's first attack killed the guy.
And did more than lethal damage. The guy had 3 hit points left. Okay, so combat is over.
What the hell?
Alright, I want to search one of the bodies, see if I
Yeah.
can find anything on them.
I want to search for anything can indicate who one of them was.
I want to untangle my bird.
Justice is fine, but looks a little embarrassed.
That be an investigation roll?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Are they humanoids?
Oh yes, they are both human.
Sweet, I get to advantage. Thank God, because the first one was terrible. 16.
Okay, so both of these individuals are wearing dark clothing. Not black, but close enough for government work, let's put it that way. They both have a set of lockpicks on them. They are both carrying daggers that have very wavy edges to them. These don't look like they're hunting blades. They look almost ceremonial in nature. And on the hilt, the crossguard of it, actually, of each dagger is what is very easily recognized as a dragon head. The daggers are steel, you're guessing, but they have been painted green.
All right,
They
I
haven't
want
been
to take.
painted green very well.
I want to take one of the daggers because we need to show this to Lord Idris.
Neither of them has any money on them. Neither of them has anything on them that identifies them other than the daggers that they are carrying.
I want to look for something else, but I rolled poorly.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
and they're humans.
You notice that they have cloaks.
Look for tattoos. Any symbols?
You see no tattoos or symbols on them.
Okay.
Oh, not any place that you're willing to look.
Well, I was looking for anything that was identifying, so something unique. So if my 16 was high enough, I would have got that. Human dragon stuff. I kind of say to Honk and Undercommon,
Mhm.
we need to find someone from this plane that knows about green dragons or dragonborn.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more going on here than just a pissed off goblin shaman.
I like how you're in a room with a dragonborn saying you need to find someone who knows about dragonborn.
Specifically green dragonborn, though.
Yeah.
Specifically greens.
I can speak with them.
Oh, you know Undercommon, don't you?
No.
Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't.
So you don't know what they're saying. You just know that they're speaking in a language that you've never heard before. There is no Underdark in this world, so far as you know. So no one on the surface that you know of speaks Undercommon. Other than the people in this party who are from another plane of reality.
I turn to Fenix. Do you know anything about green dragonborn and why they would want to kill you?
Do I roll for that one as well?
No, you don't need to roll for that at all. Dragonborn in this campaign setting on this world are basically a mixed bag. There's no you're not segregated into groups based on dragon color. You all intermingle. your parents were two different colors and you were a third color, because the heritages are all mixed. So you don't even think of green dragonborn being different from you, a gold dragonborn, other than, oh, your scales are a different color and you spit acid instead of breathing fire. Okay, well, that's fine. Trash day cleanup is a lot easier for you because that smell gets really bad when you burn certain things. But you can't think of any dragonborn that have ever wished you ill.
So I was gonna say these dragonborns were racist, but
There is a little animosity, more for some than for others, between Dragonborn and other races because of the history of Dragonborn on this world. Some of them have more animosity towards humans that have pretty much distanced themselves from the race they created. Others are just, xenophobic in nature, where they don't trust anyone that isn't a Dragonborn. The Dragonborn community is very close-knit and sticks together pretty well. But once you go away from that's where you encounter a little more animosity both ways. Which is why some people have reacted to you so strongly with not outright trying to kill you until tonight.
Hey Vex, I wanna let's get back to our rooms and make sure everybody's in our rooms. Make sure the water ice is still there.
Yeah. I draw my rapier in my main hand, my dagger in my offhand.
Yeah.
Just walk towards my room.
I'm gonna take out
with
the can
Shepherd in
opener.
tow.
Go back and check.
Okay, give me perception checks for your rooms.
Mm, 16.
13.
You see nothing out of place, and it doesn't look like anyone's been in your room.
All right.
Oh, biscuits. Obaim.
Yeah.
So at this point, Obaim comes home to the inn from a very long day of healing and mending to find two dead bodies, the inn awake in a commotion, and you missed all of the fun.
You also look like hell.
I would tell you to get some sleep, but I don't think we're gonna get much sleep. He needs to check his room, make sure nothing's funny going on in there either.
Yeah, I'll go with him to back him up.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to assume that Obaim is cool with that because he's not replying, and say that his room is on the same side of the inn as Vex's, so that's the side where the windows don't have windowsills on the outside, and you see nothing out of the ordinary in there whatsoever.
All right. What is it? What time of night is it? Or early morning?
All right, sorry about that,
What is
guys.
Yay, he's back.
it? Okay.
Movie's over.
Okay, so I should probably have had you make perception checks, but I'm not going to retcon that. I'm going to assume you rolled 19s. You see nothing out of the ordinary in the room whatsoever. There seemed to be no evidence that anyone had tried to get in the room. You look at the lock and see no scratches or anything on it.
Anything on the windows or anything around?
Your windowsill, your room is on the same side of the inn as Vex's.
Okay.
And that side doesn't have windowsills on the outer edge, on the outside of it. So you wouldn't see anything out on the outside, even if there had been eyes out there looking for you.
Gotcha.
If there were, and there were drippings, they would be on the ground below. And You're not about to jump out the window.
No, too far.
Is it possible these two things? Is it possible these two things are separate? The eyes and the attackers that went after Fenix.
Oh, completely.
All
Completely possible.
right. How early is it? Late, whatever.
It is near dawn.
All right.
Matter of fact, as Obaim was coming in, I'm not going to say that Obaim is suffering from fatigue because I'm just going to say he had 2 long rests the day before as he was taking breaks to get his spells back. And as he was coming in, there were people downstairs in the common area that were starting to wake up. The common area is full. There are a lot of people that are hanging out there that looks like they spent the night in the common area taking naps wherever they could find a spot.
Right.
So basically, the breakfast buffet isn't open yet.
Is it fair to say that the ones that
you can smell breakfast?
is it fair to say the ones that did get woken up twice in the case of me and Honk didn't get a full night's sleep?
I'm gonna say you got enough because when you're out on the road and you're sleeping in shifts because you got to have somebody keep guard, you still get enough of a night's sleep that you're not fatigued the day after. So I'm gonna say it wasn't more than that.
Okay.
You're not happy. You might have 2 cups of coffee this morning instead of 1 with your morning meal, or some really, really strong tea with extra sugar. But it's not something where you need to take a day off for this.
I'm just gonna say at this point, the sun's coming up. We might as well just get on with stuff.
Yeah.
Tell room service that there needs to be some cleanup in Fenix's room.
Yep.
You clean up on aisle everywhere.
Hey, if there's anything I can mend so I can use my mending spell I'll never ever get to use, I will. So if I need to fix a chair, I can take care of that.
Can you mend my where my bird fell on the bed?
Yeah, the covers are a bit clawed up.
I can mend that. I can definitely mend that.
You need a sponge.
Bird skid marks.
We need to clean up on
Clean up on aisle whatever.
There's a bird in the hand.
everything.
A bird in the hand
and
and 2 Kleenex.
There's bloody footprints all over the place now because none of you were trying to avoid the puddles of blood from the Dragonborn and also the 2 intruders. So you just sort of walked through it and then walked back out again. It's going up and down the hallway.
A dude's neck everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Would
and
it
neck bits everywhere. And some of the footprints going back and forth are paw prints.
Just bloodstains. RuPaul.
To
How much? Sorry, how much damage did Logan take?
He took 4.
4. I'm not going to waste a cure wounds on that.
Would it be worth it to check with any of these people in the lobby if they saw somebody come up to the room? I'm just asking the players.
Yeah. No. For people in the lobby, definitely.
Or do we just keep it on the down low and just wait and just talk to...
Well, there are 2 bodies in his room. They're going to be discovered at some point.
Well, we got people trying to kill us.
It's probably better that we tell people that it's happened rather than someone finding it.
Also, remember, zombies.
Zombies.
Additionally, Ari, you're up and ready to start the day. What do you do?
Okay. I guess I would probably want to talk to Lord Idris first if I can find him, if he's still willing to see me.
He is willing to see you and ask what he can do for you. He's a bit cold as you greet him, but he's not turning you away.
I had an interesting encounter last evening as I was readying myself for bed. I happened to pass by the window in my room and caught a glimpse of something rather unusual. I cast a light cantrip to get a better look at what I saw and witnessed several floating eyes outside my window. The light spell seemed to spook them, and they simply flew away. Have you
Floating
perchance
eyes.
floating eyes? And I'll describe one as best as I can from what I actually saw, like with retinas trailing, etc. Trying to be very graphic.
Okay. And since you mentioned that there were like ganglia dripping behind them,
Yeah.
that rules out that they were a reflection.
Correct.
You weren't just seeing yourself reflecting in multiple panes of glass and going,
No.
"Oh my gosh, there's something out on the wing."
And it's me. No. Roughly, I don't know how many were out there when he flashed his light cantrip, but I'm gathering it was more than 2.
It was 4 or 5, if I remember correctly, for you.
It was. He would, get say, half a dozen or so, 4 to 6 eyes floating around.
Every time you
I'm
tell the story,
assuming
there's a few more.
it was. They were observing me. I can't imagine I am that important enough for somebody to spy on me. So I don't know if this is something you've heard of or other. Have you heard any? Like, has it been heard of by any of the guards or any other visitors?
He takes a parchment and a pen and jots down a few words real quick, calls a guard into the room, hands his letter over, and the guard leaves quickly, and he says, "I think we've encountered this before. I think you've encountered this before. On your way in."
Into the keep?
When you were an NPC.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Were they? I don't remember that, so I don't know. Was it? I guess it was on the way when we were traveling with the wagons, right?
Yeah, the party didn't encounter the eyes themselves. They got there after some guards that were patrolling the gores encountered the eyes and almost did a TPK.
The twigs?
Total party kill.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Ari, I guess, would kind of dismiss that somewhat. He doesn't recall it, so I don't have any knowledge of it. I guess it's unusual that they followed. Is it unusual that they followed people into the city?
It's unusual that eyes float around on their own.
Well, true, but I guess that you've heard this happen before. I'd like to research
Not
this
before you arrived.
Not before we arrived. Okay, so then I'm gathering something. Well, I would like a chance to peruse your library again to perhaps learn more about what this might be.
Well, I have already given permission, so I don't see why you can't. I will say, however, I've read most of the books in that library growing up, and I've never heard of any tales or read of any experiences that involved something like what you've encountered.
Oh, then I won't waste my time. Perhaps others in town, those that arrived with me, have had similar incidents. I will probably go speak to them and find out what has happened to them in the evening.
That might be a possibility. There are many more people in Coomridge Keep now than there were yesterday. I have had my men bringing in as many refugees as possible. As you know, there's a lot of death happening right now, and I would like it to stop happening.
Understood.
So it may be that whatever was out there came in with them. It may be it came in on its own. It might be seeking people out, and this is where the most people are. I don't know. Now, if you excuse me, there are many problems that need to be dealt with today, and this is a new one.
Thank you for your time. And once he has done breakfast, he will head out to the inn where he knows the others are staying.
Okay. So, the rest of the party has a somewhat less bountiful breakfast. Your breakfast is still on the house thanks to the agreement that was made previously. But you're not getting seconds and thirds because of how many people are in the inn right now.
I'm at least getting double shot coffees.
Oh yeah, you got 3 coffees and a thermos to go.
There's Dunkin' Donuts on the side.
No, it's real coffee.
Oh.
None of that burnt Starbucks crap either.
All right, we see Ari walk in. Want to pull him over to the side, and Vex, let's show him the water ice.
I take out the mug of iGook.
If we can do this somewhere sort of towards a corner, really people can't see us.
No, I take the 2 of you up to my room.
Okay.
I show him the iGook and explain the entire situation last night, including the 2 random assassins.
And I have the dagger.
And I say, do you know what this is?
I'll look over the iGoop, assume an Arcana check.
Yep.
Okay, 19 on the die, plus 6 is 25.
It is definitely necromantic in origin.
Okay.
It's diluted by snow, and it's not a whole lot in there. It is mostly snow with a little bit of scum on the surface. But there's certain odors that you recognize from your studies back
Certain
in
fetid
university.
stenches.
A few wild nights that you had in your fraternity. That you recognize some of the forces involved here, and it wasn't live. It was animated in some way.
Would I potentially learn any more by doing a detect magic on it?
You don't know.
Okay. Then I will say I will need probably 10 minutes to perform a ritual that may help me learn more information. I'd like to look over the dagger. You said
Punk gives him the dagger.
the dragon head.
Pudge slides over. He's behind the bar serving breakfast, but he sort of
Okay.
slides over to you and says, "If you're going to be doing rituals, I would greatly appreciate it.
We're in my room.
Upstairs."
We're up in his room, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not doing this publicly. I didn't think they
No,
wanted.
no.
No,
I wanted
like
to keep
You're
away
just showing
from
up at the
everybody.
bar with iGoop and
No,
no,
we-
don't drink that. Don't drink that.
We grabbed him and took him straight up to my room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to
Away
make
from-
sure that while they're doing that, I'm down then in making sure anybody else needs to be helped out. I can do all that.
Okay. No one in the inn needs aid. As people were arriving, the guards were pretty much taking anyone who looked like they needed healing or to be looked after in some way and escorting them to one of the 3 churches immediately before they went to find shelter.
Very good. So I'll head up with him then.
Yeah, there might
we
be a few
want-
bandages that need to be changed, but that's no more than 15 minutes worth of effort.
Very good. I can help
We
you
want-
investigate too, by the way, guys.
Sorry. Do we want to tie up those bodies and take them to Idris? See if anybody over there recognizes them?
Possibly a plan.
Have we rifled through their pockets for loose change?
We have.
There was no change. Now, did you tell Pudge about the bodies?
No.
So
Well,
no
they're-
one knows
We
the
could
bodies
wrap them
are
in
in
sheets.
We should
There
probably
were-
tell Pudge.
There
Are we-
were. I had heard thieves' tools were. The player heard thieves' tools were on the bodies.
Yep.
Okay. Ari wants to take a set of those. We'll want to try to check them out perhaps later to see if he can discern anything, or perhaps Lord Idris may be able to discern something from their thieves' tools. Certain rituals could be done upon them to learn more about their owner.
Okay, you do that.
We'll take both sets just to be safe. the dagger. Somebody said something about green Dragonborn, and how the people that attacked Fenix were humans.
The people
Are
that
they not?
attacked Fenix were humans, but the
Right.
dagger, as you can see, the hilt and the crossguard are shaped like a dragon head and painted green. And the dagger itself is
Painted green.
steel, but painted green.
All right, but is
They're-
the dragon head?
They're
That's
poorly
the hilt.
painted green. Specifically, like the paint is chipping off in places. They weren't originally meant to be green, but,
Green. They were-
somebody was like,
they
"I've
painted
got
the
this
metal."
house paint."
Yeah.
Is it-
Dragon killer.
Is this pure steel just because of the fact that my background can kind of determine what type of metal this is, and if it's just metal or if there's anything else with this?
They're steel daggers, so other than the shape, they're what you would expect daggers to be made out of. The hilt is the grip part of the hilt is wood wrapped in leather. The leather is also painted green, which you don't do that to leather, but
Yeah.
they did
Just
it to
wrong.
leather.
It's horrible.
All right, so the dragon head itself, on the hilt, it's not like dragons. Typically, dragon heads all have different shapes. Gold look different than blue, which look different from red.
Your character
are-
would not know that.
Okay, I was going to see if we could get to that. Is the dragon head on the dagger of a unique shape, or does it look generic in any way? Is there anything weird about the way it's designed? For like, as a player, I know the blue dragons have that big ass horn on their head, whereas green don't. Is there anything unique about the design? Are the two daggers? I guess the daggers on each individual, are they different, or are they all the same?
They look like they came out of the same mold.
Okay.
It looks like a big lizard head with lots of teeth.
Okay, so there's nothing necessarily uniquely identifying of the dragon head.
It's now again, your character would not particularly know this because
Right.
Ari is native to this world and there's no actual dragons here.
Okay.
But
The rest of us.
Yep.
the
Fenix?
rest of not the rest of you, because Fenix wouldn't know either.
Right.
Ponk, Vex, and Obaim, give me give me a history check. Because none of you has that personal experience with dragons.
17.
I have, because I am one.
Yes,
16.
but you're native to this world, so you haven't seen actual dragons, just Dragonborn.
God dang
Right.
it.
16 plus 4, so 20.
Okay, so yours was 20. What was Ponk's again? It was 16?
17.
17. Okay.
I was 16.
You were 16. Obaim knows enough about various dragon types that he'd probably be able to tell from the anatomy of a dragon head whether or not it was supposed to be a gold dragon or a green dragon or a platinum dragon or a sewer dragon or whatever kind of dragon that exists.
Right.
The sense that he gets, both from his experience as a dwarf and someone who mends things frequently, so I'm going to say you've got some crafting ability, and your experience with history lessons, because you rolled so well on your history check, that these dragons on the hilts look like somebody explained to somebody else what a dragon was, and then that person told somebody else, and then that person made these daggers.
Okay. That satisfies me. Painting of the green, the dagger being green, is that of any significance? Is anybody aware what that means? At least among the people who are from this plane of existence, since we have several who are not.
Not
At least
to me.
among us. Yeah.
You're drawing blanks. I'm not even going to make
Okay.
you roll. You've got no
Okay.
idea.
All right. So that at that point, what we'd want to do, I think we would need to go to Lord Idris. Let's take the bodies, the thieves' tools, the daggers. Anything else they had on them?
Yeah.
Was there anything else they had on them?
No.
Okay. We definitely want to present this to, if not Lord Idris, he may not be available today. We do want to at least bring it to somebody of importance, perhaps whoever
Cleric.
covers security. Yeah. The refugees. I don't know. I mean, assassins were. I don't know if we're going to be able to sneak bodies out of the inn without a lot of talking, or at least someone noticing.
Because I'm normally I would just leave them here, but I don't think that would be a good idea, and I don't want to really tell anyone else in the hotel and start a panic.
Indeed.
You see some players walking past with a rolled up carpet, like carpet delivery coming through.
I was thinking like Weekend at Bernie's. We just, like each take one under an arm. Well, the tall guys can take one arm and walk them out. But
Are we in a room with a window? Perhaps we could have someone on the outside catch them as they fell?
All of your rooms have windows.
Okay. So perhaps taking them out the side exit, as it were, might be a little easier.
do we have access to like a wagon or anything?
You don't, but you know that the guards do.
Because that's how they haul the dead bodies out for burning.
How about this? Do you think we could take a guard aside and tell one of them and say, listen, here's the deal. We don't have to go into all the details, but, hey, we had a problem. There are some dead bodies. We don't want to start a panic. We need to go see the Lord.
I might be able to get a guard to come up. As a nobleman, they might obey me somewhat implicitly. I could simply say, hey, I need you. Come here now.
Yeah.
Assuming we have
Yeah.
Do we have is there a guard here at the inn with all these refugees, or can we just kind of take a quick look outside and be like, hey, you, come here?
In your travels, you have seen regular patrols through town. In your trip to the inn today, you saw that the patrols were a bit lighter and centered more along the lines of getting people to the various churches.
The
They're still coming in from that.
Now the inn we're at, there's still some refugees here. These are people, I'm guessing.
The inn is packed. The inn filled up overnight.
But the people here don't need healing. Is that why they've been sent here?
They either don't need healing or no longer need healing.
Got it. Okay, so are guards necessarily escorting people to this inn, or are they simply just okay? Once they're healed, they're on their own.
Kinda, sorta. Obaim, because you basically lived this all day yesterday. There were basically after the inn filled up, which it filled up pretty quickly. They started posting lists at all three churches of families in town that were willing to take in refugees and how many they had room for.
All right, so make sure he gets all this information that you had just done.
So yeah, they're not letting anyone sleep out on the street in the middle of winter.
Got it. Okay, I see this going two ways. One, I could try to get a guard's attention, bring him here. Once he sees the bodies, we can explain everything. Or we could try to take the bodies out ourselves. We don't want to go through the main room of the inn.
You hear a knock at your door.
Okay.
Housekeeping.
No hablo inglés.
No, thank you.
Sorry.
Broke him.
Just shout, no, thank you.
Someone tries the door anyway.
I'll lean against it.
I'll also push against it.
They don't unlock it, but they do try the handle.
Definitely lean against it. Do I need to make a strength check?
No.
Okay.
You recognize the voice. It is Pudge's wife. Shepard whines a little bit. He knows that treats might be involved if you open that door.
I just kind of give him the look.
He's still covered in blood, by the way.
That's fine. It's his new paint. It's his new face paint.
It's not his blood.
It's not his blood. It's fine.
He's young. It's just a phase he's going through.
Right.
I would rather deal with a guard then get busted trying to take bodies out of here. Lord Eaters is already a little ticked at us.
Yeah, I agree.
So as much as Ponk does not like authority, I would rather do it by the book.
I agree. I simply wanted to present that there is another option.
I don't know how everybody else feels, but I'm for getting a guard.
I agree. Get a guard. We've already had to deal with.
Where they might tell you guys to, saunter off, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
The noble they will have a hard time ignoring, especially one they know they've seen in Lord Eaters' presence and appears to be a friend. So, I will then head out.
Yeah.
Once I leave the inn, basically try to head towards one of the churches, the closest church, to try to intercept a guard.
I'm just going to take a step back and say that as a DM, I am thrilled that in this particular session, some sessions are incredibly combat heavy, but in this one you have literally spent more time talking about dead bodies than you spent actually making the dead bodies.
It's because we're getting railroaded into talk.
No, actually, I had a totally different vision for how this session would go. And you've decided this is how you're going to take it, and I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I clean shavered up a bit, by the way. I wiped the blood off.
Okay. I honestly expect you to be halfway to Marwood's Tower by now.
No, assassins tend to change things.
Yeah, assassins gonna take the point.
They did take the point, several actually.
The point of a longsword, the point of a wolf's tooth, or teeth.
Pretty much. Okay.
Although one might argue we now have no one to interrogate.
That would put a damper on things, yes. Okay, so you go out into the streets and you find a guard that's directing traffic and you say, hey, I need your help now. And the guard just points at the line of refugees and he says, more than they need it?
Can you get me somebody else?
He looks up and down the line.
Yeah. All right, then I will find another.
Says, nope.
Yeah, I will find another guard. The bodies aren't going anywhere, so.
Well,
not yet. Not yet. I have a little time.
Okay, what's the rest of the party doing while Ari checks guard after guard, trying to find someone who's willing to come and look at a dead body with him?
I'm kind of nailing some arrows into their shoulders to keep them there.
I'm petting my
So that
bird.
if they do wake up, they ain't moving.
You're leaning over the bodies. You're holding Punk's wrench as the hammer and smacking them into the floorboards. Someone in the room below you is knocking on the ceiling. Hey, keep it down up there.
Paging Mr. Meacham. Paging Mr. Meacham.
I'm stroking the top of my.
And Vex yells down, I am trying to keep them down. That's the thing. Okay.
I think Fenix was trying to say
give
something.
me a perception check.
Wait.
Is this on the bodies?
While you're nailing their shoulders to the floor.
Okay. Just because I get advantage for humanoids, so.
They're zombies.
Oh, they're zombies now.
Back.
Okay.
Those
Yeah.
are not humanoids. Those are undead.
First was a 15 then.
Okay, so you notice as you're nailing them to the floor. Now, obviously, you try to nail something through a corpse. The corpse is going to jump a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always jumping in time with the hammer smacks. It's
Morning, sunshine.
The fingers are starting to wiggle on their own.
I didn't think they turned that fast.
No, neither did I.
Yeah.
I kind of step back a little, just making sure they're secured, and then step back.
Okay. You do see that they're definitely starting to move a bit, but they're not getting up and they're not struggling against the arrows, but the bodies are definitely moving.
All right, these are definitely different than.
Yeah.
They ain't from around here. Let's put it that way.
That's faster.
Yeah.
the goblin head didn't reanimate for 2 days.
Yeah. The people we found in the house and all that.
Those people animated. Well, the ones that you found animated overnight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And this has just been a few hours because this happened just before dawn. And the breakfast rush isn't over yet.
Oh, God. Right. An entire inn of innocent people, 2 murderous zombies.
We got.
You see our
finally
problem.
Find a guard that it has a trainee with him, and he's willing to send the trainee with you.
It's my first day.
Yeah.
He's got his tabard on backwards. No one has the heart to tell him.
We're gonna die.
We're gonna have to put him down again without having to.
We're not. Dead are my specialty.
Oh, that's true.
Don't pop anything.
Ari will bring him back to the inn.
Okay.
I've got an arrow notch, by the way. Just aim it at one of their heads.
I'm just still petting my
Just
bird's
in
head.
case.
So, you bring this trainee up to Fenix's room, and you open the door, and he looks in, and he sees that he sees 2 corpses that are doing their best to try to stand up, except they're kind of nailed to the floor, and he's like, "Why did you keep them in here that long?"
They weren't in here that long.
They were in here for 2.5, 3 hours at most.
Look, what you do in your own free time is your personal business, but
Listen, kid.
Listen, kid.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to. I'll be right back.
I'm going with him.
Intercept him before he gets to the door.
No.
Someone explain the situation to him first, please.
My
Look,
intimidation's good.
if they are moving already, we've got to get some other guards here.
I tried to tell other guards that, and we're having that issue with the refugees. We need to talk to more than probably just the guards.
With all due
You need to talk to
respect, sir,
Gilbert,
you're
or-
not really a citizen of Coomridge, and we have a lot of refugees. That's probably why they weren't listening to you. I'm
Yeah.
a guard. They'll listen to me. Recruits spend 3 months on body duty anyway. This is what
You
I've
said
been doing for the past 3 months. This is my first day off of that. I will be right back.
I'm going with him.
I let
Monk
the
is
arrow
giggling.
go through its head. I want to know how long it's reanimating.
I'm
I let
gonna
the
go
arrow
with
through
him.
its head.
I want to go with him. As we're walking back or leaving to go to another guard, I want to show him one of these green daggers and tell him, look, they were armed with these. Do you recognize these?
We call those daggers, sir.
No, but look at it closely. He'll show him the dragon head, how it's painted green. Is this of some significance to you, or does it mean anything to anyone here? Have you heard of this?
Who would do that to leather? Why do you...
That's my point.
You don't paint leather.
I know that. They didn't.
So
All right.
you found some people who definitely don't live in the country.
No, this is of some significance, I am certain. It's a matter of finding out what significance it represents.
Well, your guess is as good as me, sir.
Yeah.
So at this point, you get to the Coomridge gate, where they usually have a wagon at the ready anyway. He talks to the
Right.
guards that are there. They
Ari will do
Look
his
a-
best to back him up.
they look a little skeptical because of the time frame involved, because that's one of the first things that this trainee says. And but they bring the wagon over, and they basically position it below Fenix's window.
So as to avoid being seen by any of the other refugees.
Crash. When they left, I let that arrow go. I want to know by the time they brought this wagon over, is it back up?
No. This has been a matter of minutes, not hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at this point, too, that they're not high-ranking guards, but they're not trainees. Their tabards are on the right side forward. the tag for the trainee's tabard is sticking out underneath his chin. It looks really bad, and no one said anything. It's also you're pretty sure it's also on inside out, and it's tucked into the back.
Nice.
Yeah. It's his first day. So they
First day dressing himself.
first day being allowed to wear a tabard.
Yeah.
So they dispatch the other zombie that doesn't have an arrow sticking out of its head. They return your arrows to you. Wrap the bodies in the sheets off of Fenix's bed, and as gently as they can, drop them out the window. It wasn't that gentle, but it was as gentle as they could. They thank you for your time, and ask if they could maybe have the items that you took off of the bodies, so that because they are the authorities you'd be reporting it to.
I will turn over both daggers
God damn it.
and one set of the thieves' tools.
They both ask who would do that to leather. The recruit's like, I know, right?
Yeah.
Can I very quickly take down a sketch of the dagger while it's fresh in my memory?
Sure, you can do whatever you want. But while you're doing that, the guards head out because they've got 2 bodies to wheel to the keep.
All right, we need to go with them so that we don't lose track of where those bodies are. And when we get in, we can talk to somebody. We can say it's wagon number 6 over there or whatever. These are the bodies. Because I don't want to take a chance on it getting screwed up.
I want to get into the Lord's library and research what I can on those daggers.
Well, if anyone's going to talk to him, it's probably you, because he doesn't really have a high opinion of me. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure the Lord, if he's the best person even to talk about this. It's probably someone.
Gedrick or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I was going to say who monitors like Deckard.
Yeah.
And he's the one. Isn't he the one who gives out the quests?
Geckard is the one that gives the quests. He's the steward.
Yeah,
so he handles all the finances and everything. So he would be the one that'd be handling the rewards for quests anyway.
Let's talk to him and run it by him first.
Okay.
Because I want it all kind of documented and that we did it. We tried to do it by the book this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, so you notice
Is there a public library, by the way? Because while they're doing that, I want to go and do my own research.
I don't think they have a public library. It's the Lords have all the books, usually.
There are places of learning. There's not a public library in the sense where it's like a lending library, but there are at least 2 bookstores that you know of, and there are schools for various levels of education that would also have books on hand.
I'll go to one of the schools, higher education one if possible.
Okay. The school is full of refugees.
Not shocked.
It smells a bit.
It's Cambridge.
It smells like the countryside came to Coomridge.
Oh, then I'm at home then.
What's that smell? Manure.
Yep.
And unwashed bodies, because
The
showers
unwashed
haven't been
heathens.
invented yet.
I'll tell you right now if it's manure. I've lived next to a farm my entire life. I can tell you right now if it's manure.
He's in the back with the smokers, greasers, and hoods.
Okay, but cut to who was following the wagon?
Punk and Ari.
Also following
Okay.
the wagon.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the other guys were with us too.
Obaim following along with Fenix.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone except for Vex follows the
Vex.
wagon. The recruit is sent ahead. And as the wagon gets to the gate of the keep, Lord Idris is there waiting for it. He doesn't waste time on pleasantries. He walks right up to the party because you've been following the wagon, keeping pace with it. The wagon is horse-drawn, but with the number of people that are in town right now, it couldn't go more than a walking pace. He just walks right up to the party and says, "How long were they down?"
Maybe 3 hours.
Maybe a couple hours, yeah.
Yeah.
This is very unusual. We need to get them to the laboratory now.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Who has the water ice then? Does Vex still have it?
You'd given it to Ari to look over, but I didn't need to keep it.
I still have the eye residue.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do my ritual on it yet.
Okay, because we want them to, when we get to the lab, we want them to look at all of the things.
I'm not with you.
So
Sorry.
do you tell Lord Idris about this?
Yes. Probably. Actually, yeah. We want to. I guess we can wait till we get to the lab to give them the full rundown.
Okay. Well, you can wait till you get there.
Yeah.
They don't wheel the wagon through the keep, oddly enough. But apparently they have some type of dumbwaiter system or something for bodies.
Sensors floating disc.
That might be how the dumbwaiter's powered, but basically the bodies are taken out of sight, and you follow Lord Idris to one of the research laboratories that is maintained by his father, who you learned previously the way it's set up in Coomridge. The patriarch of the Idris family devotes their time to researching this zombie curse and trying to find ways to make it better, cures, or whatever they can do. And the heir is the one who basically takes control of ruling the keep itself.
Well, I think either Ari or the cleric should probably explain what they found when they examined everything in terms of magic stuff. So I'm a barbarian. So
I'll go ahead and explain everything.
Okay. You do so. Idris is a little miffed that it's mostly a secondhand account, so he's not getting the main details from it. I'm going to assume that Fenix pipes in with firsthand information what he can.
Yeah.
Since he was integral in making sure the bodies were dead in the first place. Which makes him a little better. Idris casts some spells. You can roll Arcana checks if you want to see what he's doing.
You bet I do. 16 plus 6, 22.
3.
You know he says words and waves his fingers.
9.
You know he says words and waves his fingers.
I really hate
18.
All that magic stuff.
I rolled an 18.
Okay, so Fenix and Ari recognize enough of what he does to realize that he's casting various detection spells. Detect evil is pretty much a standard, but of course they would resonate with evil anyway.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much like the stereotypical, well, we know the body's dead, but we'll check for a pulse anyway because that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Cause of death, decapitation. Check for a pulse, there is none. Go figure.
All his insides came out.
Yes, exactly.
I would say sense worm, but this is the wrong game. So
But So there's several detection spells that you recognize components from, but there's other spells that you don't recognize at all. And
which are probably unique to him or his family for dealing with these undead for the last 100 years.
exactly. This is a family that did tons of magical research before the zombie plague. So there's no reason why they would stop.
Right.
And you're not even shocked that he would have these spells memorized on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Even though he's
Doesn't
not
surprise
technically...
me at all.
Yes. He mumbles under his breath for a bit. He goes over, takes some notes, and writes them down. This is not good. This is...
Do we have the daggers there that he could look at?
Oh yeah, the guards brought the daggers too.
Oh, okay.
The daggers have nothing to do with this. I mean, clearly they had something to do with these unfortunate people. But
why would they assassinate or attempt to assassinate Fenix? That's what my curiosity was aroused over.
Especially with the grain on the leather. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Right.
who does that?
I know, right? That's a mystery as well, and I'm certain that needs to be investigated. My main concern is they've never come back that fast. And this doesn't appear to be specifically something about what was on these individuals. There's nothing on them that is magical in any way. They had brought nothing with them that was magical in any way. There's nothing here with them that they brought with them that would make them animate this quickly.
It could be.
Go ahead.
It could be something or something that. I mean, yeah, something or something that made it do that.
Is it possible they're not from, like they came from another place like I did?
Or would they perhaps be part of some cult that, upon their deaths, hastens this effect?
Yeah.
If there is, I do not see anything on them.
There's no magical
residue on them.
There's no magical aura about them.
Nothing different from any other zombie that I have been able to investigate. My father might know more. I'm probably going to contact him as soon as we're done talking here, because he might need to come home early. But
there was also thieves' tools upon each of them, I assume simply to gain entry to the rooms. Perhaps could any spells be cast upon them to learn the identities of their owners, learn more about why they might have targeted Fenix?
I do have some spells that I might be able to use. I do not have them memorized currently, though.
Fair enough.
As for their origins, he points at one of them. That's Marshall Carson. Points at the other one. That's Hubert Cunningham.
So we know their names.
He was
their
a
name?
tailor.
Sorry?
His shop was on the edge of town. He wasn't the owner of the shop. He was an apprentice. Marshall was a tailor. Hubert was one of those jack of all trades individuals who he was a home handyman, basically.
So these are citizens of your town.
They were citizens of the town, yes.
And yet they chose... This is peculiar.
So we got a cult or something going on here.
Maybe.
Also, we have a home handyman that isn't very good because who paints leather?
Always with the leather.
Well, it's just so unusual.
I'm not there. I was just making a comment. But...
Yeah.
Well, while you're haggling with the proprietor of the school to peruse their library, well, they don't really let people come in and just look at all their books. They are a higher education facility, and therefore there's tuition payments. and this person seems dead set on you enrolling in order for you to be able to have access to the library. And their tuition fee is a bit more than what you have on you. And that's also a bit more than you're willing to pay, I'm assuming. But while you're doing this, a couple of guards come up and let you know that your party requests your appearance along with Lord Idris, because they want to look at the eye juice.
Fine.
Okay, they whisk you away, and we're gonna fast forward to the point where you're there with everyone else. Pretty much. So Lord Idris does this stuff with the eye juice as well. He says, well, this is definitely undead in nature. He says that before he does any spell casting. He takes a sniff at it and he's like, ugh, don't drink that. You could have labeled the mug.
I'm not that dumb.
I wasn't talking to you.
Fair.
That is so out of character for Idris. He's under a lot of pressure right now. He just found out his kingdom is probably just a few hours from turning into a zombie plague horde again.
Z-Day.
Pretty much. So he casts some spells and basically says, yeah, this is definitely eye guts. And it's definitely undead in nature. And there is a lot of magic in here.
Is there any way to determine the source?
There could be, but I do not have those spells memorized. They're mostly rituals, and some of the components are a bit expensive. So I don't keep them in here. Actually, I don't keep anything in here. This is my dad's place.
Yeah.
So basically, let him take a look at it. He'll get back to us.
Yeah. He needs time.
Cool.
He needs time and spell slots, yes.
He needs to meditate.
I say to the group in Undercommon, I don't like just giving stuff to people that we don't trust.
I agree.
I'm sorry, what language was that?
Never mind.
What language did you say that in?
Undercommon.
Yeah.
Ari does not know.
Yeah. I
Lord
completely-
Idris replies to you in Undercommon.
There you go.
God damn it.
It wasn't your stuff to begin with.
Go.
Oh, can't roast it!
He holds up one hand and there's a ring on his finger. Ring of languages.
He cheats.
You
But
are
we all wizards do.
Just when I thought we had earned some points back.
I reply in Undercommon, still don't trust you.
Oh. Even Punk was keeping his mouth shut.
He's like looking at us eating like popcorn.
Idris replies,
Yeah, but Vex doesn't trust anybody. He's a ranger. He's more at home playing with the animals.
Vex doesn't trust anyone because of the whole, tyrant thing.
Idris replies,
Guilty
Good.
until proven innocent.
Idris replies, good. You shouldn't trust most nobles.
At least that we agree on.
And if you excuse me, I've got some work to do.
Can I just nod my head?
You are escorted out.
As we get to the sidewalk, I just drop to my knees and weep how
At this point, it's only like 8 in the morning. You've had one heck of a morning.
I have access to his library. I could try to research what I can over green painted daggers. And I still have... Huh? Yeah, who does that? I still have one of their Thieves' Tools sets.
Yes, you do.
So I can't do much with it now, but perhaps later. Or perhaps ask someone who might be less busy than Lord Idris, who may be able to do other spells upon this to learn more information. We know their names. We could investigate their homes, families, perhaps to find out why they suddenly decided that our Dragonborn Paladin needed to be an ex-Dragonborn Paladin.
Not the skills.
Okay, well, to further the plot along, who's going to be trying to find out information about Marshall Carson and Hubert Cunningham?
I will.
What?
If
I'll
anybody
do
wants
that,
to do
but-
that.
I'll
I
go
should-
for that.
Fenix,
I'm-
me, and Vex.
I'm going like an assassin. I'm pretty sure I should be in this.
He's slightly perturbed.
Okay, well, anyone who does investigation, CSI Coomridge, roll an investigation check. That'd be intelligence if you have no investigation skill.
Oh, I can do this. I can do this. Come on.
I have investigation. I will try it. 9.
That was the first natural 20 of the day.
Yeah, and for the fact that I've got 0 investigation or intelligence, 16. Not bad.
I'm kidding. It wasn't natural 20. It was a 19 plus 1.
14,
That was-
so plus 4, so 18.
9.
Okay. So I'm going to chalk your high roll up to the fact that you are a frickin' Dragonborn, and that's rather intimidating to a lot of people. Coomridge's residents are a little on the short side in regards to human stature, so you're a couple heads taller than most of them. And thank you, Eclipse, for posting a CSI thing to the chat. Thank you. But we didn't have an appropriate pun to go with it. We'll think of something later. Well, it looks like this town just got an eyeful.
You are a bad person and you should feel bad.
I'm the DM. That's a natural state.
It is the natural state of all DMs being a bad person.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be a very fun adventure. Okay, so what you find out is pretty much they were very nondescript. They seemed like nice guys, kept to themselves, didn't really step out of line. Pretty much exactly what you hear anytime a terrorist is caught doing terrorist things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Standard Psycho Killer 101.
Yes,
They're a nice
exactly.
guy.
Steps that.
And now Marshall was just an apprentice tailor, and the guy to whom he was apprenticed also makes a comment about who paints leather. What? He knew better. He knew better. He wouldn't have done that.
So
It's not the way we
close to
raised him.
throwing a dagger at the next person who mentions the goddamn leather.
Why does the leather have holes in it? Come on. What did I do to you?
Hubert was self-employed, so you had plenty of people that you could inquire to as to what he was like, but you get the same information from them.
I have a question. Find old Bob?
You can look for old Bob.
I want to take a look, see if I can find for old Bob and see if he knows anything. Assassin's Guild or something like that.
Oh, there's no such thing as an Assassin's Guild here. If there is, you don't know about it.
Club, you know.
The Assassin's Club.
for mild enthusiasts.
They meet every lunchtime.
Exactly.
And they
the
have a
drama
little
room.
garden that they
For
walk
coffee
around.
and Danish,
All the plants are poisonous.
There's a little sign outside of the edge of town. Assassin's Club meets Tuesdays at 2.
They have
Secret lair here.
They have a setup where they sometimes play croquet on the weekends.
Because what I'm wondering is if there's any kind of criminal element to the town that maybe we could start there.
Okay, I'm gonna say roll another investigation check.
Okay. $14.
Okay, so you don't find old Bob,
Okay.
but you do a
Old
bad
Bob
enough job
finds you.
looking for him that he finds you. Yes.
I was gonna say. want to.
Short stack, you're bad at this.
I'm
He
learning.
sticks out like a
By the
sore
way,
thumb.
it's worth pointing out that since Old Bob is a halfling and Ponk is a gnome, they're actually about the same height.
Yep.
But he's always profiling me because of my race.
If he insults you, that means he likes you.
Yeah.
You're a Cerniblum, Gesundheit.
Old Bob must like all of us then.
Yeah.
There was a bit of bonding on the trip, yes.
What I'm wondering, Bob, is if someone was looking for work that was less than legal here in Coomridge, where would one go to if they were looking for work?
Government.
Well, I'm saying if there was that, you kind of wanted to keep quiet, wanted to just maybe take care of some things without any government intervention.
Well, if you wanted to keep it quiet, definitely not the government.
Yeah, I gathered that. So you don't know of anybody who,
If this was the modern world, Old Bob strikes you as the kind of person that would be saying the jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Gotcha. All right.
But the contrail stuff in the jets, that would probably burn at a higher temperature. Who knows what's in that?
Gotcha. All right. Said maybe I'm just still drunk from last night, Bob. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, there's a few criminal elements in town, but not a whole lot. And they're not very organized. They're more individuals. Someone trying to get work as an employee of someone breaking the law, that would be on a one-by-one basis. I don't know of anyone who would be hiring a bunch of people.
Okay. Anything, dragon is. I want to just describe it to him, see if that kind of he recognizes anything it would sound like.
He raises an eyebrow, but he says he doesn't recognize that design. However, now that you've told him about it, he'll keep an eye out for it.
No pun intended, right?
Did you tell him about the eyes?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Because if you haven't told him about the eyes, he doesn't say anything about the eyes.
Yeah, no, I know. All right. If you can maybe check into that for me, I'd be appreciative. Anything.
I'll make a few inquiries. If I
All right,
had
I'll
a
slip
few
them.
star charts, I'd probably be able to make the inquiries a bit faster.
I'm sure you could. I haven't got there yet.
Obviously,
Somebody's-
you've been walking around town all day looking for me.
Well,
For the
What I
record,
can
you've been
tell you
looking
is-
around town for 1 hour.
yeah. What I can tell you is someone tried to kill one of my friends, and
That was your first mistake. You shouldn't have friends.
well, I'm new in town. So if you can find out something for me, and I'll give him a gold in advance.
The gold disappears before you hand it to him.
All right. Peace out.
Ah, punk.
So, all right, and I'll leave, and I'll go back to where you were.
For the record,
Meeting.
he crit his sleight of hand check. That's why it disappeared before you handed
Yeah.
it to him.
All right. I'll go back, and I will. When I meet up with the others, I'll just basically tell them that that I'm checking into if anybody knows anything about this this dagger.
All right. What's everyone else doing?
Ari is going to try to get into the library and look up about the dagger. See if there's anything in Lord Idris's library about such a green painted weapon with the dragon head hilt. See if there's anything maybe in his history books about it.
Give me either an investigation or perception check, whichever you prefer.
All right, I'm slightly better in investigation. All right, 14 plus 6 is 20.
You find absolutely nothing.
All right, I figured as much, but I had to take a chance.
While everyone's doing what they're doing, I just want to be training up Shepherd, trying to get him bigger and stronger.
Okay, so what follows is a montage of various exercises that you're leading Shepard through. They are all adorable in nature and terrifying to his enemies. The strangest one is where he's doing pull-ups, which is a bit weird, but he manages. There's one scene where he's running up a flight of stairs and he turns around and jumps up on his hind legs and waves his paws in the air.
He does more better pull-ups than Vex himself.
I'm trying to just build the little guy up so that we can utilize that pro knockdown on his bite. I'm guessing it's going to take a little while, though.
There's a bard in the background playing Eye of the Tiger.
Of course there is.
Okay, so you spend the day doing this, and the town gets a bit more crowded, and you don't learn anything more than what you've encountered so far. You're assuming that your various contacts are not going to be getting back to you until tomorrow. If they get back to you, if they find anything.
So what time is it about now?
It's about 10:38 on the East Coast.
No, not what I meant.
I know. But
You're
I'm
a
being
troll
facetious.
and you're mean.
It might be a good place to stop.
Well, we've been playing for 2 hours. So this would be a convenient place to put a pin in it and start up again next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just like every other show. There's always those cliffhangers.
Dun dun dun!
Will Tiger really be Rocky Balboa?
To be continued.
Idris shows up and he says, I've cast a few more spells and completed my investigation. It turns out, Fenix, Obaim is your father.
Oh! My father is a dwarf.
To be continued appears at the bottom of the screen.
Hey,
More
it
than-
could happen.
But that was the season
Maury
finale.
just shows up with a card. Obaim, you are the father.
It's funny because it's true.